What if I told you that there are two things in this day and age that if you grab a hold of, you can literally become a walking bank? But there's only one thing to it. You can't be afraid of debt. You see, the rich, they embrace debt. Don't believe me? Check this out.
Credit card's not the problem. In fact, I love my credit card, right? And this credit card is a fast way of creating money. And we love debt, don't we?
Yeah, we have a lot of debt.
Did he just say credit cards are a fast way to make money? But wait, did he also say that they love debt? Wow. But why? Because they know that if you can get rich without using your own money, then why not? That way your money can go to work for you instead of you working for the money. There's no secret to it. You just have to be willing to leverage debt to finesse your way through life.
Credit card, I'm gonna fuck that credit card up, and it is what it is. They gotta figure that out. I ain't got it after that. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm getting student loans. They gave it to me. Then after that, shit, it is what it is. I'm figure it out. And I'll put the cable bill in your name. You put it in my name. We can switch it up. Whatever. They do it. Then let's just put it in somebody else's name. It's welcome. The hustle is welcome. The knowledge of banks and what you can do or can't do is fucking, you don't even get it. Because you go to check cashing places. The reason why you go to check cashing places because I don't want to go do that shit with the banks. I don't trust that. Go right there to check cashing place. Let me get mine. Let me get mine now. Take $30, whatever. Let me get it. The knowledge isn't given. So it's not till you obtain that knowledge and understanding that you go, oh, shit. Oh, this is why you put money up. Oh, this is how you increase versus decrease. Oh, this is how you earn on your money.
I feel like during this right now, people should become millionaires. Mm-hmm. The foreclosed homes are down to the ground right now. Like the ones that was, the cribs that be like 30, they like 11, 10. Mm-hmm. You should grab them. What are you waiting on? Yeah. You should be focusing on things right now instead of doing TikToks, and you should be worried about, you know what I'm saying, how to build your credit. Yeah. How to get loans, stuff that you know, like, okay, well, the job they shut down colleges, they shut down jobs. Damn, what would I have left if there was never around? What would I do right now?
Credit. Ladies and gentlemen, please protect your credit. Protect your credit. Trust me.
It's a form of racial animus perpetrated against our people. They've devised an actual culture of keeping us impoverished. Many of us have become so complacent with having bad credit or not even knowing how to build a credit profile that because we've learned how to pay our bills month to month or manage to stay alive, we don't even care to fix it. We've become complacent with the fact like, hey, I got bad credit, so you know what? It is what it is. I want you all to get out of that mentality. You hear what I'm saying? I need you all to get out of that mentality. That's what I want.
The best way to look at credit is an opportunity for you to invest now and to pay back later, right? So I tell people all the time, credit can take you places that your income, right, cannot from your job or your. And what a lot of people don't understand is in the business world, income is looked at what's left after your revenue and expenses, right? Some people refer to it as cash flow. But we think that income is just that check from our job. No, it's what you have left over after your expenses and everything is deducted. And if you are in a negative income or a negative cash flow status, credit can get you the capital you need if you are a smart investor, if you've done your due diligence, if you've done your research, if you have a financial education as much as you can acquire. Because I think our last live stream, people were saying things like, scared money doesn't make money. Well, neither does ignorant money, right? You can't, I mean, there are bad investments. There are good investments, but you have to do your due diligence. You have to do your research, right? And the reason why I like credit cards because it's unsecured or uncollateral capital. right? That you can use to invest in. And I don't think people get the point or the picture of that credit cards is non-collateral. And the advantage of at least having credit cards and how to use those credit cards or to flip those credit cards to invest. So I'll let you elaborate on that, Al.
Absolutely. Like she was mentioning, credit cards can be your best friend or they could be your worst nightmare. They can literally be your best friend or your worst nightmare. So learning how to use your credit cards properly, and this is only speaking from experience. I have been in both situations where when I first got my credit cards, I overutilized them. I had high credit utilization and it only penalized and hurt me. But then I smartened up and I said, man, this is a tool I can use to produce more income for me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did was I paid down my credit cards and then I started to utilize my credit cards for other things that produce income for me, you know, starting different businesses and stuff like that. So take that to the heart. You're supposed to utilize those credit cards to produce revenue. You know, they're not really an emergency fund or something that you can just fall back on, or, you know, you can go and splurge for the weekend. That's not what a credit card is supposed to use for. You can leverage like 0% offers, and like most credit card companies today, like your big companies, your cities, your Chase Banks, your Wells Fargo's, Capital Ones, all your big banks are offering these promotional credit card offers, such as 0% for 12 months, 0% for 18 months. If you utilize that correctly, you can actually make money off of those cards.
Right.
I hope
And,
that
and credit cards are usually the only resources or assets, I think they're assets, that'll give you those 0% introductory rates. Correct. So, I mean, what we're doing is we're teaching people to leverage their credit. I do not recommend secured credit cards. They put you in a category of being a low risk borrower. When a secured credit card is reported on your credit report and credit profile, I don't care who tells you to get them to boost your credit score, I recommend getting primary trade lines added. It puts you in a low risk profile, just like certain zip codes and geographical locations or residential places just automatically push you in a low risk profile. And low risk means that usually people that get a secured credit card, no, you said it's a secured 5K business card, okay. Honestly, I don't know. I would leverage my personal credit, right? But I would never get a secured credit card. The only thing I recommend secured credit card if it's with Navy Federal, because Navy Federal will graduate you to unsecured if you are a good customer, right? On a secured level, they will upgrade you and graduate you. Other than that, no unsecured credit. Just get primary trade lines, and then after 3 months, apply for a credit card through the banks: Visa, Amex, Discover, Chase, American Express. I would not get a secured business card. I'll use my personal credit to get unsecured business card. And I would get unsecured business card that do not report on my personal. That way, your debt ratio on your personal credit scores, right, will continue to report at a low level, because business credit cards often have high limits. And you don't want, for example, a $25,000 business credit card if you have $18,000, right, on your showing on your personal credit score. Madden, don't joke with people like that. I'm so serious about credit. Don't joke, because people are looking for, I know you're joking, right? But people are looking for answers, and we are not in normal times, and people are suffering financially, and they're suffering credit wise, or they will be, right? They're comparing this to the Great Depression of 1930s, or what we will enter into 2021. So I know you all are joking, but a lot of times people take the advice of people on my channel. They take it to act upon, and that's not the advice I would give people, because I have people that's, so quick, right, to want to respond or want to tell people. But let me do that. This is my channel. Let me respond. If I think your answer is correct, great for chipping in, or maybe I don't know something and you can't chip in and answer. But just because of where we are, and I know you're joking, don't, with love, but sometimes people won't read the second comment. They'll see something first and they'll jump on it because they are somewhat in desperate times. Boxing Truth says, well, Fargo, okay, graduates you to unsecured business, I believe. And I think that's true. That may be true. But for me, I'm going to be honest with you. Wells Fargo is the hardest to get higher business credit limits. And I heard that that's because of my melatonin, right? That they really treat people in the Black and brown community differently as it relates to business credit as they do other races and people, minority people. So you're saying Bank of America secured. I do like Bank of America. And so I will speak to someone in the business office to ask them, if I get a secured credit card through you all, will I be able to graduate to unsecured? So I do like Bank of America. And if I'm not mistaken, let me Google and see. I think Bank of America is one of those business cards that will not report on your personal credit report. Let me check this out. And then I never did go over to AU, so I'm going back to that. I prefer the business credit cards that do not report to your personal. There's a lot of Wells Fargo, Capital One does report. Chase does not. Citi Card does not. And Bank of America does not. So I do like this. American Express does not. However, they will report if you become delinquent or negative on the account, right? It will report then. Discover reports all of it. So stay away from Discover business credit cards if you can help it. I do have a Discover. That's just because they approve me for it. I use it sparingly. I don't use it a lot, and I pay it out full every month. So I do have a Discover business, and it does report on my personal. I don't use it that much. U.S. Bank will not, but if you are in delinquent, it will report. Wells Fargo does not. So that Wells Fargo strategy may be for you as well. Barclays does. So now let's get to AU trade lines. Yeah, I don't really like Wells Fargo. They've been known. They were known as Freedom Bank, and slaves lost millions of through them. And then Freedom Bank, it was early 1900s. Can't remember the exact year. And Wells Fargo, Freedom Bank now is known as Wells Fargo, and they're not treating Black people in the Black and brown community much better since the early 1900s of them stealing millions from the slaves, right? Just being honest. re-ask that question. I thought personal or business credit were different entities. I don't know what you're asking me about, what you mean by that. Okay, so it does not report the personal. But I'm not saying to stray away from them. I'm just saying that Chase, Bank of America gave me higher credit limits. Always give me higher, and it's easier to increase my credit limits than Wells Fargo. But hey, may be different for you and different for you in your state as well. So now, if you want to add your children, right, because they do not have credit profiles at this time, so FICO 10 will not affect them, and you can help them improve their credit history by adding them to your good credit cards as authorized users. This is what you want to look at, right? Does the issuer report authorized activity to the credit bureaus? That's the first thing you need to know. So when dealing with American Express, yes, they're saying that yes, it does, according to Nerd Wallet. If the account is not delinquent, the authorized user, however, has to be at least 18. So if your child is not at least 18, it will not report with American Express. Bank of America, yes. Barclays, yes, but the child has to be at least 16 for Barclays to report. Discover, yes, but the child has to be at least 15, right? Capital One, yes, no age limit. Citi Card, yes, no age limit. And Chase, yes, no age limit. U.S. Bank, if you want to add your child's authorized use for U.S. Bank to help them begin to develop good credit history, yes. However, if your account becomes delinquent, then no, which you don't want to add them on a delinquent account anyway. Wells Fargo, yes. However, the user has to be at least 18 years of age. So credit bureau policies, here's how the three major credit agencies handle authorized user information. This is dated as of February 2019. Equifax, do they report the user activity? Yes, if the authorized user is at least 18, both positive and negative will be reported with Equifax, right? Experian, yes, but only if the information on the primary accounts becomes derogatory, the account is removed from the authorized user's credit report. So that's good with Experian. You don't have to worry about removing them. Experian will do it as well. Experian, unlike Equifax, has no age limit. So with Equifax, they have to be at least 16, right? TransUnion will report both positive and negative. It has no age limit, but if the account becomes negative and delinquent, you definitely want a call and to get them removed, right? So that's all I want to share with you all. The authorized users will be helpful for your children. I just broke down what credit cards report, what age limits requirements, and what credit agencies report, right? Equifax must be at least 16, but hey, Experian will do that as well. I go live. And so I just want to let you know, unless you're using this strategy for your children, right? The end of authorized users is here. It will not work with FICO 10 anymore, right? Great strategy. A lot of people rode that gravy train for a long time. However, it's over with, right? Won't work. And so this is something, just in case you all cannot find it, you can Google it. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thanks everyone for hitting the thumbs up. You can Google this as well. 22 million reasons why Black America do not trust banks. And so this is, it was in the early 1900s, 1865. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Freedmen's Bank Act, authorizing the organization of a national bank for recent emancipated Black Americans. And so by January of 1874, people, less than 10 years after established Freedmen Bank's deposit branches across the United States total up to US dollars 3,299,201, which would be equal to the 65,200,000 in current today's dollars. The Freedom Bank closed June 28, 1874, also known as Wells Fargo today in current today history. And these slaves, these people, right, they were trying to get, approved for land. They want to be their own sharecroppers. They was just released from slavery. They felt like depositing their money into the banks would give them loans so they could get lands, get houses, et cetera, stole their money. Right. Right.
State is you learn to use debt to get rich. I'll give you another tip. If you're going to be rich, you have to learn to use debt. It's called other people's money. So when I hear poor people say to me, I don't have any money, I said, because you're an idiot. That's why. You're not supposed to use your money. You're supposed to use other people's money. Well, that's debt. I don't want to do that. And so they stay poor.